Welcome to the HTML and CSS Basics course with me. HTML and CSS are essential for creating any website or web app, and in this course we're going to start at the very beginning and work our way to cover HTML and CSS at a professional level. Whether you're a complete beginner or a seasoned professional, this course has been designed to teach you up-to-date HTML and CSS coding practices and techniques. The course is split into two sections, the first covering HTML and the second covering CSS. We'll look at what HTML and CSS are and how we use them together to build websites and interfaces. We'll cover the building blocks of both languages and will in turn give us the capabilities of coding our very own website project. I'm here to help you overcome any nuances that you may come across as we build our way through the course. Let's start with HTML. HTML describes all the content you see when you look at a web page, like the text or images. All websites that you browse on the internet are written in HTML. It's just a file, like a picture or a Word document. It's just in the format HTML. HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. The hypertext part describes the web itself, how this document is hyperlinked, and thus websites, which are built with HTML, are accessible from a browser. They can also be linked with each other. The part that really describes what HTML is the markup language part. A markup language is one which wraps content with more information about that content. It is, in essence, a data structure, telling the program that's running it what content it's interpreting. HTML is a descriptive markup language. In our case, it describes the content part of a website, like words, images, videos. The parts that describe this content are called elements or tags. Elements can be inside other elements, as content can wrap other content. If this is the case, the element inside is referred to as the child of its encasing element. Conversely, the encasing element is referred to as the parent. You may notice in the files that you've set up for the course, there is an index.html file, along with a couple of others that we need. HTML files can be called whatever we want. We can call that home HTML or about HTML, as long as it has the file extension .html. File extensions are how programs know how to read the file type. The convention index.html comes from servers, the computers on the internet that hold our HTML files and go and get them when requested. They are more often than not configured to find an index.html file if no other HTML file is specified. So for instance, if I were to just go to ultimatecourses.com and didn't write anything else in that URL, it's more than likely it's the index.html file that I'm getting back. That's not always the case these days, but it's a convention we still use. In this course, we'll cover the specific way of writing these, our HTML syntax. We'll cover lots of different elements you can write, which come together to form a web page. You'll discover the best practices for coding each of them as we work our way through. Sir Tim Berners-Lee and the team at CERN first proposed an internet-based hypertext system in 1989. An initial version of HTML as we know it now was available in 1991, comprising of 18 of these elements. Since then, HTML has become the standard for describing website content, and there are over 100 elements available to us. We're going to deep dive into the most commonly used elements, also referred to as tags, as we go through this course. Programs that run HTML, like the familiar browser, apply a default look or style to each element we write, to make HTML documents readable. But as developers, we can use CSS to modify and override that styling, making it look unique and exciting. CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheets. It was specifically designed for styling HTML on the World Wide Web, and the first version, CSS1, was released in 1996 to coexist alongside HTML. In this course, we'll learn how to write CSS in detail, how to make HTML elements look the way we want them to, and place them where we want them as well. There's a lot of CSS available to us to give us different effects. CSS declares styles for each specific HTML element in a number of ways. This can be how big the element is, what color it is, and where it is positioned within the browser when we view it. We can write these styles in a separate file, which allows us to have common styles for more than one HTML page that we write. We'll look at different places we can write CSS within the course, how they affect the HTML differently, and the benefits. We'll also look at different ways to lay out our HTML elements so we can place them where we want them to be. This is a key skill to learn in CSS, as there are many different methods for different circumstances. CSS is very powerful. It also allows us to have different styles for different environments. Consider if you wanted to print a web page. You may want to adjust the styles you apply to your HTML elements to optimize for printing, such as black text on a white background, for example. Together, HTML and CSS make up all the websites that you see on the internet today, and so are an extremely important skill to learn in web coding. Alongside JavaScript, which you can find a course for here, you can easily begin to master web development skills and start building your own websites and web apps.
Please subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you will be notified with my latest videos and updates.